What's up, everybody? Sunday Sessions, episode 49. This is going to be the trade show follow through episode. We're going to be discussing some of the top things you should be focusing on after you attend a trade show. And this video will also help you prepare for your next trade show. So, for anybody who this is your first time joining, my name is Eric Castellano. I'm the owner of Amazon Lit, and I help 5, 6, 7, 8 figure businesses grow on Amazon, right? Our target audience is typically the big guys. I like to work with larger sellers, 6, 7, and 8 figure sellers, really help them optimize their workflows and become more profitable, understand their systems a little better. So, Shamari, what's up, brother? I think you just got back from Vegas, what, a day or two ago, right? Tony, what's up, man? Global Vision, hello. Who was that? KM, what's up? Excited to see a bunch of y'all in just a couple days right here in New Jersey at AMZ United. I'm excited about that. Quick little, first of all, if you got any questions, post them in the chat. I'll get to them. But the first, 5-10 minutes here, I wanna focus on trade show follow through because it's an integral part of harvesting these relationships, right? You've made the commitment, you invested the funds into airfare, hotel, travel, food. And if you just went to the most recent trade show, ASD, you probably saw a show, did some gambling, right? So money's coming out of your pocket. Now is when the work starts. The 80% of the action that you need to take after the trade show, because attending a trade show is such a small piece of the puzzle, my friends, right? It's just the beginning. It's just the start of the whole process. So now that the trade show has completed and you're back home and you got access to your computer and you have some free time, it's imperative to follow up with those vendors that you met, right? And I just put a link in for anybody struggling with like what type of email to send them, how do I communicate that information? How do I get their catalog? Over on YouTube, I just put a link in the chat that will, when you put your email in there, will send you 5 or 6 email templates that convert, right? Templates that you should be sending to these vendors to open up wholesale accounts. So if you want to pop over to YouTube, click that open, you can get those emailed to you in the next couple of minutes. But the goal is take that list of vendors that you have. I hope you sorted through the business cards while you're at the trade show. Hey, these are vendors I definitely want to follow up with. These are vendors that I'm somewhat interested in following up with, and these are vendors that I'm going to not follow up with. I'm posting it right now. Check, give me a second. Yeah. There we go. So you can slide over to that link. You'll get the emails sent to you in a couple minutes here, right? But now that you got your vendors separated, the ones you definitely want to follow up with, the ones that are like, I possibly want to follow up with, and then the ones that you're definitely not going to follow up with. Me personally, the ones I'm definitely not following up with, those business cards are going straight in the trash, because they're just going to collect dust. You're never going to look at them again. What my main focus is maybe the 5 to 10 vendors that you definitely want to follow up with, right? So you're going to whip up a quick little email, some sort of catchy headline, right? Subject. And then in the body of the email, you want to say, hey, it was a pleasure meeting you at ASD. I'd love to get access to the catalog we discussed. Attached is my EIN number, my resale certificate, and you can even add your D&B score if you'd like, right? Very simple and straight to the point. You don't have to overcomplicate these emails. All the time, people want to write essays or they just write a line or two. Like a couple sentences for an email to open up a new wholesale account is very, very sufficient, right? One, you don't want to overextend the information that you're providing you. I see these all the time. I get these emails to my wholesale company. Hey, Eric, I'm an Amazon seller. I just started selling on Amazon. I also sell on eBay. I'd love to get in a catalog. It's like, no, I don't want to know that you're a brand new Amazon seller. That's not a good thing to tell people, right? So I try to shy away, and I encourage you all to shy away from providing a lot of information about your company in that first email. It's only going to do you a disservice, right? It's like essentially a sales position. I don't know if anybody's been in sales before, but typically the more the salesman is talking, the deeper they're digging themselves in a hole that they're not going to be able to get out, right? I typically like to allow the vendor to kind of do most of the talking through emails or phone calls or in person, right? I don't like to disclose all that information. They don't have to know that. They don't have to know if you're a new business that you just have one employee and it's you and you're doing the buying and you're doing the picking and you're doing the packing. They don't have to know that, you know? When you get the catalog, you say, amazing, thanks for the catalog. I'm going to have my team run through this and get back to you with an order in the next 24 to 48 hours. That brings up point number 2. Right? So point number 1 is follow through. You got to follow through, right? To get a return on your travels and your expenses. Number 2, you want to have a quick turnaround on your orders. You can't be waiting a week to put together an order. If they send you a catalog on Monday, you can't send over the order the following Monday, right? Because what happens is while you're waiting to do product research on that order, my team already placed an order. Someone else's Amazon business already placed an order. Someone else's business already placed an order. So what you're going to experience is a lot of out of stocks from that original catalog you got because you're not capitalizing on the opportunity immediately. Typically, one of the biggest problems I see, especially with the big sellers, is their order turnaround is trash. I'm talking it's taking them anywhere from 4 to 10 business days to put together an order to a supplier. If my buyers were taking 4 to 10 business days to put together an order for a supplier, I would fire them immediately and at least sit down before I fired them and have a conversation, letting them know this is unacceptable. This is not how we harvest the relationships. This is not how we grow the business, right? We grow the business by placing consistent orders and getting on top of submission of these orders to capitalize on in-stock inventory at the prices that they originally sent them to. Because if you're waiting 5 to 10 business days to place your order, by the time you place it, prices have changed, products have gone out of stock, inventory levels have changed, and your order that you just spent 5 or 10 days working on, you probably will only get maybe 30 to 50% of it filled because you waited too long, right? So number 2 is capitalize on placing orders quickly. You have to. You have to. So just a quick little recap before we get to number 2 or number 3. Number 1 was follow through. You got to follow through with these vendors. Number 2 is have a quick turnaround on your order time. Vendors love that, right? It shows them that you're willing to put in the work, willing to take action, willing to execute, willing to spend money, willing to place orders, all the things that vendors love. Because at the end of the day, a vendor's in this for money, right? They want to make some profit. And before we get to number 3 here, let me just see if we got any questions that are pertaining exactly to what we're discussing. If not, I'm going to skip over them and get back to them later. All right, number 3. Right, number 3, if you just left the trade show, it could be ASD, Expo West, Fancy Food Show, New York Toy Fair, whatever trade show you plan on attending or have recently attended. Hey, Brenda, what's up? So number 3 is capitalize on discounts, right? A lot of y'all are sleeping on discounts. You look at a catalog, oh, I'm making $1 on this, $1.50 on this. I can't buy it. It's not profitable enough. But have you requested any discounts? Did you ask the vendor for their weekly or monthly promotional sheets? You know, are you buying a large volume of a certain SKU where you can request a volume discount? Are you willing to take all of their inventory and get a take all discount, which essentially means, hey, I'll buy all this inventory. You got it listed in your catalog at 5. I'd like to play 4.25. If you can meet me at 4.25, I will take all 4,000 units you have in stock, right? Makes their life much easier. Now they don't have to pick that order for 10 different clients. They're literally just going to the location in the warehouse and picking it and shipping it to you which is one step for them, much easier. They'd encourage you to do that, right? And they have no problem providing a discount for those services. Also, some things you can capitalize as far as discount goes. Ask them if they have any discontinued products, right? A product that a brand or a manufacturer no longer is producing. And typically vendors, wholesalers, suppliers will discount those goods, which is counteractive to what happens on Amazon. Because when a product is discontinued and it's a hot product, typically the price on Amazon goes up, but the price for a discontinued product in a wholesale catalog typically goes down. So that creates a larger spread in your margin that you can capitalize on, right? Line drives. Line drives is when a manufacturer discounts a specific line or brand of an item, right? So let's say Gillette, in the month of September, they may have 15% off their razors, right? So what Gillette, a manufacturer, does is they say, hey, we're going to provide our distributors with 15% off for the month of September. And those distributors' responsibility is to pass that discount on to the customer, which is me and you purchasing from these vendors. So you can actually ask, hey, do you got any line drives or brand deals that you have going on? You know, and I guarantee you they have a few. They definitely have a few. So through weekly and monthly promotional sheets, take all discounts, volume discounts, line drives, there's so many opportunities to capitalize. FFA allowance, free freight allowance. A lot of people don't know that suppliers typically have two MOQs. MOQ number one is for placing an order, right? Usually $1,500, $2,000. Some of them may be a little higher, some of them may be a little lower. So you need to meet that MOQ to even get your foot in the door, to even be able to place an order with those vendors, right? But then they will typically have an FFA, which is the free freight allowance. So that's a new MOQ number that if you meet it, let's say it's $8,000 or $10,000, if you meet that $8,000 or $10,000, the vendor will cover the cost of shipping. It's called a free freight allowance, saying, hey, if you hit this MOQ, $8,000 to $10,000, I will cover shipping to you or your prep center or to Amazon or to your grandma's warehouse, wherever you want to send it. I'll cover shipping because you met the minimum order requirement for our free shipping qualifications. But if you don't ask these questions, then you don't know about these opportunities, right? Because I work with a bunch of the biggest sellers in the space. I have the honor and the privilege to do so. And not only do I have the honor and privilege to do so, but these bigger sellers also pay me a large chunk of change. I mean, for me, it's not a large chunk, but for most Amazon sellers, they'd be like, damn, I'm not ready for that program yet. But you got to think about the opportunity that exists in it, you know, because most businesses, their buying system is broken. I haven't helped or worked one-on-one with one company where I would be satisfied and hire their buyers on my team. It just doesn't work like that. They're typically unqualified, right? It's taking way too long to put orders together. They're not capitalizing on discounts. They're missing opportunities because they're only using UPC scrapers. So they're missing out on the 2-pack, 3-pack, 6-pack, 9-pack that's not directly connected to the UPC. Right. So while their buyer may put together a $10,000 order, my buyer has the same exact catalog with the same exact pricing, but we put together a $30,000 order, right? Because we leverage our buying skills and experience and we intertwine them into the mix in order to create an elite buying team. Buying is the most important process in this whole deal. Another reason why I love going to trade shows, because you get to interact with the companies you're purchasing inventory from, right? And the more trade shows you attend, the more instilled within the industry you become, right? Because soon, like for me and Sebastian, we're able to walk. I've been to ASD probably 14 or 15 times now over the past 6 or 7 years. Every year I go twice a year for 6 or 7 years now. So I've been to ASD a lot, right? These other trade shows, Expo East, Expo West, Sweets and Snacks, Fancy Food Show, Toy Fair, Miami Mart, Philly Mart. When I walk these show floors, people recognize me, vendors and companies. And that's not because I'm a magical person and people love to talk to me. It's because I'm consistent. So I encourage all of you, be consistent. I encourage attending at the minimum 4 trade shows a year. 4 trade shows a year, that's 1 a quarter. That's not even a huge commitment for yourself. And I'm sure if you popped into your local convention center's website, if you live in Chicago, you check out McCormick Place, right? If you live in Manhattan, you check out Jacob Javits Center. Go to their website. Do a quick little Google search. See what trade shows are happening. Maybe they got a beauty show, a baby show, an outdoor show, a sports and outing show, right? A grocery show. They probably got a show right in your local neighborhood, especially if you're in a large city that you can attend, drive into for the day, and capitalize on those opportunities. Oh, come on now. Maybe a little bit of magical. I mean, I'm a little magical, but it's consistency for me, man. I wasn't always magical. The magical has happened over the course of many, many years, trial and error, failure and success, more failure than success, right? And just building up on those failures after failures after failures until I was able to start closing some deals. That's what it's all about for me. And that's what it should all be about for you. Let's get Carson in here. Let's see what Carson has to say. I think Carson's in EsellersRI. I'd imagine he is. Do a quick little check. Yo, Carson.
Yo.
What's up, brother? How you living, man?
Shit, I'm good, man. I'm fucking still in bed. Sorry about that.
It's all good, man. What you request to join by accident, or do you want to add something here?
Well, I joined and then it said send a request, so I sent it anyways. I want to leave it.
Well, now you're here, man. How's business doing? I know you've been in EsellersRI for about a little over a year now. How's business?
It's good, man. We're consistently growing month by month, but a little slower than I want, but
okay,
doing good.
Yeah,
no complaints, really.
Good, man. Why do you think it's happening a little slower than you'd like, Carson?
I know what the problem is. I've been trying to find some more suppliers, and I really need to bring on another employee.
Okay.
But kind of hesitant just because we don't have as many suppliers as we want yet. We're still kind of buying locally. And trying to save on shipping.
Yeah.
And it's been working for us, but we just need more now. So
yeah. We
went to ASD last year, and we found a lot of good suppliers, but we just honestly we haven't got a lot of responses back from them yet.
Yeah.
And I've been reaching back out to them these past couple weeks, and really we probably found about 20 suppliers from ASD, but we've only consistently been buying from one of them.
Yeah.
So.
And where are you located, Carson?
We're in Houston.
Okay, cool, man. Something I would suggest of you to do, especially because I know you said you went to ASD last year, but because ASD just passed, I would just send an email to those companies and say, hey, it was nice seeing you at ASD again. I'd love to, get a catalog and place an order so you can start getting access to some of this inventory, because they ain't going to remember if they met you or not.
Yeah, 100%.
So you can kind of leverage the event and that it happened, man, and get some more suppliers. And then about the employee, before we wrap this up, what type of employee you're looking for? Packer?
Yeah, Packer.
Okay. Yeah, that's the right move, man.
I've been putting so much time into trying to do everything myself, and it's not working.
It's stressful, man.
Huh?
It's stressful doing it all by yourself.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's stressful, man. It's stressful. Well, yeah, man, the goal would be to open up another 2 or 3 supplier accounts and then bring on that Packer immediately, man, because it's going to free up a lot of your time, Carson.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right, cool, man. Well, listen, Carson, it's been a pleasure, man. I look forward to hopefully seeing you soon. Are you going ASD in March or AMZ United? Any events, Expo East, anywhere I'm going to get to see you in person coming up?
Well, most likely March. I mean, I watched your videos last week when y'all went over to ASD. There was like 400 new vendors, you were saying?
Yeah.
I was like, shit. I was because I was watching some videos of some other guys, and they were all saying it's usually the same guys going. And some of my suppliers tell me that as well.
Yeah.
It's usually always the same suppliers that go to the ASD. And you were saying there was over 400 new vendors there. I was like, shit, man, we're missing out.
Yeah. Yeah, I was very impressed. And I think the reason why, Carson, is a lot of vendors are realizing there's a lot of opportunity to make some money at ASD. So it's becoming a hotter trade show than it's ever been. It's always been hot, but now it's hotter than ever.
There is.
Yeah, man.
And yeah, I think that one thing that was kind of keeping us hesitant from going with these new suppliers was placing these out of state orders. Because since we started, it was all about like saving on shipping and picking up locally and doing all that, just trying to save money anywhere we can. I think taking that next step and placing those out of state orders, it was a big step for us. So
yeah,
I think that's what it's going to take to grow, is just taking those risks and not getting out of the comfort zone, really.
No, and you got to look at it this way, Carson. Let's say typically you're buying at 15% margins. Even if shipping's going to eat up 3 or 4 points of that, I'd rather make 10 or 11% margins than 0% margins.
Yeah, 100%. And the thing was, it wasn't even as bad as we thought. So it was really just us overthinking it.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, listen, Carson, it was a pleasure catching up a little bit. I look forward to seeing you a couple months over at ASD again. And yeah, man, I'm excited you jumped on here.
100%, man. I'll see you soon.
All right, brother. I'll see you, man.
Thank you.
I don't know how to get. Oh, there we go. Another guy thriving. Trying to thrive. Went to ASD and some suppliers seem questionable. Do you think even at ASD we should remain cautious for counterfeit products there? I mean, most of the vendors are a-okay by me. If they're investing, to exhibit at ASD is not inexpensive. I've exhibited there as a vendor, and to fly me, Sebastian, Humboldt head out, hotel, airfare, food, booth, all their fees they have, you have to use their Wi-Fi, you have to use their employees to move your stuff around. You're talking 15 to 20 grand at the bare minimum. And that's if you just get one booth. So typically if a vendor's investing 15 to 20 grand, they're typically legit, right? Which makes your life a little easier. But still, do the same research you do if you're opening up a new wholesale account. Do a quick little Google, look for any reviews, see if they have a D&B score, get someone on the phone, treat it like the same process as you would any new vendor. Also, I got this link pinned here. You can get 5 emails that work consistently for us to open wholesale accounts. You get 5 of them emailed to you immediately. You just simply need to fill out that quick little form in the link that's pinned, EsellersRI.com/bonuses. And within a couple minutes, those emails that convert will be emailed to you. But here's a tip, right? And we're going to take this to number 4. And I talked about this on stage. So just a quick little recap for an ASD follow through, because 20% of the work happens at the trade show. The other 80% happens after the trade show. So step number 1, follow through, right? Email those companies that you connected with at the trade show to get catalogs. The name of the game is get the catalog. Step number 2, capitalize on placing orders quickly. If they email you a catalog Monday morning, you don't want to wait till the following Monday to submit your order, because while you're waiting to submit your order, I've already placed mine, right? And I potentially took all the inventory for the SKUs that you wanted to purchase. So because you were sitting on your ass and not taking action and not placing an order in 24 to 48 hours max, you missed out on a lot of in-stock products that me or some other company purchased. So you just not only wasted multiple hours of product research, because now all that time, you can't get the ROI back on that time because you submitted the order and all the products are out of stock. So 1, you wasted time. 2, you're getting a smaller order. 3, you're making less money. So stop hesitating on placing these orders. Get to work ASAP. And number 3 is request discounts, right? We talked about line drives, weekly promotional sheets, monthly promotional sheets, take all discounts, volume discounts, relationship discounts, build to ship tos. That's a whole nother conversation I'll save for another day. But there's so many different types of discounts to request. You just got to know how to leverage them. What I always say to my buyers and even to myself is the price in the catalog is not the price I'm paying, right? I'm at least going to request a lower price. And typically they'll meet me in the middle or match that lower price. And then, I should have got into number 4. I forgot what number 4 was going to be. Oh, number 4, CRMs, right? I talked about this from stage out in Vegas the other day, and people were wowed by it, right? To me, it's the fundamentals, but a lot of people don't understand it. So I'm going to share it here again with all of you. Get a CRM, Trello, Asana, Monday, HubSpot. Those are 4 great CRMs. I heard lots of good feedback from the walkthrough. Yeah, the walkthrough was fire, Shamari. But so you want to get a CRM, right? Customer relationship management software. The purpose of the CRM is you start not only tracking your vendors and where they are in the process. Have you gotten the catalog? Have you opened the account? Are you waiting for their answer? Did you submit your account application? Tracking where you are in the process of closing that supplier. But now you can also put together tailored emails, right? And begin to track their click-through rates and open rates, right? And now why is it important to track click-through rates and open rates? Because not only am I an Amazon seller, but I'm also a marketer. I send out tens of thousands of emails a month to my community. And something we track in our business that we've implemented into our Amazon business is we're tracking click-through rates and open rates. I want to know, okay, I sent this specific email, this template to 10 vendors. How many of them opened it? Right? Did 5 of them open it? Did only 1 of them open it? If only 1 of them opened it, it probably says something about your subject line, right? Maybe your subject line just said wholesale account application, right? Maybe it was nothing to catch their eye. It's the same thing that they get dozens a day. Or maybe your subject line was even worse and it said Amazon seller, right? So like you want to be tracking your subject lines open rates to make sure that they're converting. And then once you get a subject line that has a high conversion in its open rate, then you start leveraging that subject line more. And you can even pop it into ChatGPT and say, hey, this is a great, this subject line has been converting really well for me. And then you paste the subject line. Please create 5 similar subject lines to help increase my open rates. So then they'll take that email subject line that's converting really well for you and getting suppliers to open and read your emails, and they'll create 5 similar but different subject lines that you can then begin to use and track their open rates, right? And then when it comes to click-through rate, let's say you're sharing your Shopify website or your Amazon storefront, right? Or maybe your eBay storefront, or your own personal website, and you're sharing that link in the email. I want to know how many people are clicking on it. Are these vendors even looking at my storefront? Did they even open the email? Because now you have the insight and the information to be able to crush these supplier accounts, my friend. Because now you're going to have tailored emails that provide you the data to let you know if they're even working or not. Because if you're not tracking that information, you're just throwing shit into the wind. It's not working. There's a wholesaler that was at ASD, but they have a Telegram platform with ASINs. Do you think that is a legitimate wholesaler? I would just ask for their wholesale catalog. I'd cut the line and be like, listen, Telegram's cool. I would be honest with them. I said, listen, Telegram's okay, but that's not my preferred method of doing business. I could place much larger orders much quicker if you were able to provide me an Excel file with UPCs and pricing. That's how I'd navigate that. All right, because Telegram groups, in my personal opinion, are trash. It's just, they're typically what they are is they're opportunity buys. And this is leaving aside all the stolen goods that have been going around in Telegram groups. This is shelving that for a completely different conversation. But just in general, typically they're opportunity buys. So it's like you literally need to have your Telegram open and be at the computer the second the deal comes through. Do some quick research and then commit to it immediately, right? Which is tough. I have some vendors that send over some deals like that. And it's tough to manage that, especially when you got full-time buyers, trying to place $1 million in purchase orders a month each. Like, so for them to capitalize on a quick opportunity buy in a PDF file with 60 products on it, it takes out of their productivity on their day. And if they've waited more than a couple hours, or you've waited more than a couple hours to capitalize on that Telegram deal, you might miss it. So now you spent 20 minutes researching the product, finding the variations, making sure you can commit to the 1,000 units they have in stock. And then you go to submit the order, and lo and behold, it's out of stock because you waited too long. Lots of bigger IG sellers are struggling with suspensions. Any tips for that? I would assume you're referencing what's her name? Starts with an M. I can't think about it, but her business is completely tanked because I think of fear of a suspension. It's not even a suspension yet. But I can give you some tips and advice to navigate Amazon properly. One, operate within the terms of service. Right? Make sure you have invoices, make sure you're selling products new condition, make sure they're not stolen. Number two, make sure you're taking care of your account health issues immediately, typically within 24 to 48 hours. So if you get an account health violation, intellectual property complaint, trademark infringement, whatever the case may be, you need to be responding to those immediately. Amazon likes action. Right? You want to be proactive instead of reactive. So you want to take action immediately when you receive that account health violation. Investigate it, see what the issue is, and respond. Right? Also, another thing, stop writing plan of actions yourself. Unless you're a professional plan of action writer, which most of us are not, stop writing plans of actions for yourself and stop submitting them 10 times before you reach out to a professional like us or Riverbend or any of these services that help you get your account back. Because the more submissions, the more times you submit a POA, the chances of getting your account back decrease every single time, right? So stop submitting 8 POAs and then sending me a message on Instagram like, hey, E, my account's been suspended for 3 months. I've submitted 8 plans of action. They're not giving me my account back. What do I do? Like, bro, that should have been a message you sent to me 2 months and 29 days ago. You waited too long. But this is what happens. 2 things. One, when you write your own plan of action, typically you get too emotionally involved in it, right? So you start putting emotion instead of business sense into your plan of action. Amazon doesn't care about how you feel because your account's about to be suspended. They want to know that you're going to recognize what you did wrong, and then they want to know the process in which you're going to implement to fix it and prevent it from happening ever again. They don't care that you got 4 kids, right? They don't care that you just had a baby. They don't care that your wife's sick. They don't want to know about that stuff. But as business owners, it's easy to get emotionally involved and put together and spill out all our feelings onto this plan of action. Like, I've been selling on Amazon for 10 years. I support my family. I have 22 employees. They don't give a shit about that. So hire a professional to write your plan of action. Just do it. Don't wait 3-4 months to do it. Don't be scared to spend. A typical plan of action in today's day and age for most service providers, us included, is between $2,000 to $4,000. Right? Ours is closer to the low end because Sebastian's just a genie when it comes to plans of actions. He's gotten hundreds of accounts reinstated, hundreds and probably well over $1 million in returned disbursements from accounts that were suspended. So the dude's an OG in this space, right? Who's Brandon? The one and only. I don't know who Brandon is. Anyway. All right, so any questions, preguntas? Lately, been getting that your account does not qualify while trying to ungate in brands. We've been selling in the past, like Dove, no options to send invoices or anything, any tips. Yeah. Oh, what is this? Trish always talks about it. It's like account throttling. I forget the exact name, but essentially, you could have a low IPI score. You could have had a lot of customer returns. You kind of got to dive into your account metrics. Because if you're getting gated for brands that you were previously selling and they're not even allowing you to submit invoices, that's typically an account issue, something that's going on with your personal account, because that doesn't happen often. It happens far, 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 far between, right? It's not a very common thing typically. But what will happen, Gabor, is sometimes you'll be selling a product for years and then it will get gated. And then you have to request to get ungated again, and you simply submit an invoice and it gets approved, right? But for you to be gated and then it doesn't even give you an option to request ungating again, even though you've been selling the product for many years, it's typically an account health issue. Any problem with the weather this time at ASD? No, the weather was perfect. It was beautiful outside and inside. Yeah, sell more. Exactly, Shay. And Gabor brought another good point for your account doesn't qualify. Sell more inventory. Build some more trust with it with Amazon. Your boy D McCoy said, how long is the average turnaround from when you order from suppliers to when y'all receive the products? It varies. Some are next day. Some have 2-3 week lead times. So it's going to depend on the vendor. And that's a question you definitely want to ask. What's your lead time? From when I place the order till the time it gets shipped to me, what's your lead time? And we have vendors who vary with lead time. Some are a day, some are 3 days, some are a week, some are 2 or 3 weeks, and some special orders might be, 5 to 6. Typically, we don't like to go over lead times greater than, 4 to 6 months, unless it's a brand direct relationship or you've been historically selling the product for a long time and you understand the keep a chart of the competitive sellers. Because it's just Amazon's too volatile. All right, someone's using supplier flow. I'm gonna write that down. Look into that. Is AMZ United a trade show as well, or a seminar meetup for Amazon? It's more of a seminar meetup. They have some service providers, some vendors. I think there's 10 or 12 sponsors, but it's definitely not a trade show. You're not going to be meeting vendors there. What is your opinion on wholesale companies that market themselves as redistributors? So you just definitely got to be a little more mindful with redistributors. You want to make sure, ask the general questions, your invoices work for any ungating and approvals. And then just make sure the prices make sense, right? Because typically redistributors will put a markup on their product because they're not the distributor, right? They're going to the distributor, getting the product and redistributing it. So they got to make a little profit on there, right? And that profit's coming out of your pocket. So I typically like to go direct to the distributor, manufacturer, brand, wholesaler, supplier, and typically redistributors, brokers are people that I not like to put a lot of energy into. There we go. See, now we're getting down to the magic in the comments. Yeah, see? So this is when it comes out the woodworks. You've almost got your account suspended multiple times, intellectual property complaints. So, and then Che goes in, you never want to accept them. You always want to dispute them. And I couldn't agree more, right? Especially because when you start accepting a lot of these account health issues, Amazon's going to flag your account, someone who's not following the rules. And you don't want to be placed in that basket. That's a shitty basket to be placed in. I don't want to be placed in that basket. Yeah, Sarah, I actually like those relationships. And so Sarah just brought something up over here on the tube. What is your opinion on distributors who specialize in special orders from the manufacturer? In order to place an order, we need to provide them with UPCs and they get pricing from the manufacturer. I love it. I love it. I think it's a great opportunity, right? Because now you're getting direct from the manufacturer when typically like manufacturers like Reckitt Benckiser or Unilever, Procter and Gamble, they may have 30,000 pound, 25,000 pound minimums, right? Where you can't even get in the door unless you're placing full truckload orders, right? So when you work with one of these distributors who specializes in special orders from the manufacturer, you might be able to get 5 pallets of this SKU, 5 pallets of that SKU, 5 pallets of this SKU for a total of 15 pallets, which would not meet the minimum order quantity for going direct with one of those large manufacturers, but would meet the minimum order quantity because what this distributor is doing is taking your order, someone else's order, and another order and meeting that MOQ from the manufacturer. So absolutely, we'd love to capitalize on opportunities like that. Che, I appreciate you dropping knowledge in here. Also, real quick too. So, two things about AMZ United. Three things. Number one, we're no longer speaking the day of, but we'll be there as attendees. Please, if you see me at the event, come say what's up to me. I want to talk to you. Want to get to know you a little bit. One of my favorite things is meeting you all in person and hearing your experiences and your business growth. That shit makes me thrive inside. Number two, the night before, Sebastian and I will be hosting a dinner with Scott. It's called Palette. I think it's sold out already though. But essentially it's going to be an interactive experience, about 200 people. Number three, I see Che in here, a couple other Inner Circle members. On Wednesday, immediately after AMZ United, we're having a private Inner Circle dinner. So my team reserved a location. There's about 35 of us. It's going to be, I don't know, 2 hour, 3 hour dinner. And essentially, it's an opportunity for us immediately after AMZ United, right around 6:30 is the reservation. It's an opportunity for the Inner Circle members to be able to, get together, interact in person, network, digest the event, ask questions, build relationships, just the whole nine. That's what it's all about for me. It's one of my favorite things about Inner Circle is really the in-person interaction. Like I had the amazing experience of spending a lot of time at ASD with our Inner Circle members like Che and Jacob, and like it was really cool. Caleb, like all these people that I see all the time virtually, but the few times in person I get to see them every year, it's really exciting. And all it takes is one nugget to change the game. Yeah. And also, Gabor, yeah, I would, if you need to jump on a quick call with Sebastian, it's like, I think 400 or 500 bucks. He can walk you through the info and kind of troubleshoot what's going on here and see what's up with your account. Some wholesalers don't have invoices that Amazon will accept. How do I operate properly with suppliers which Amazon won't accept? So, two things. One, it's risk versus reward, right? You understand that, hey, this invoice will work, but the profit is crushing it. I'm making 60% ROI, 20, 30% margins. So I'm going to take this risk, right? It's the same with doing business with liquidation and closeout companies. Sometimes you got to take that risk. So the second thing is, and this is, I'm just going to, fuck it, I'll say it. Create your own wholesale company, right? And with some systems, typically we disclose that information in Inner Circle, but with some systems in place, you could essentially become an approved vendor in, I don't know, 6 to 9 months. So it takes a little time and some processes that you have to follow. But then you could begin purchasing inventory from these non-approved vendors and using and invoicing it to your company through your new wholesale company, which will be approved. But that's going to take some time. That's the long play. ERI has a 6-piece nugget every Monday. Yeah, 100%, man. The Monday calls are amazing. seriously, it's like my favorite night of the week. You know, every Monday night for going on 4 years now, we've been having a Monday night call with our community. The amount of information that's exchanged in there is just next level. Oh man. Hey bro, how many major distributors are there? So you're talking national distributors? I don't know, maybe like I'd say 10 to 15 like major heavy hitters. You know, but it also depends on I'd actually probably go a little higher, 15 to 20, because it depends on the category. There's some major distributors in the grocery category. There's some major distributors in the tool category. There's some major distributors in the beauty category. And then there's some distributors that carry a little bit of everything, which is my preferred distributor. Damn, I'm missing all these questions. Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you, Jennifer. Thanks for popping over to ASD. It was a pleasure seeing you. And listen, I don't want you to suffer from FOMO if you weren't able to get to ASD. Because the March show, I personally think, well, it used to be February, now it's the March show. The March show, I personally think, is a little bit cooler for a few reasons. One, typically there's a little bit more vendors there, a couple hundred more vendors than in the summer show. And the reason why the summer show, the August show, is a little slower is because you got to think about it like this. Kids are out of school, so families are vacationing, traveling, going to beaches, enjoying themselves. It's literally 2 weeks before back to school starts, so people have responsibilities and families. The March show typically is a little larger, so there's a few more vendors there. And also, we host BGHL, Business Growth Hacks Live, during the March show, which is an opportunity for you to get in a room with, 400 to 500 Amazon sellers and be educated. By players at the top of their game, like Vanessa, myself, Sebastian, and some of these other people who are willing to teach you on how to optimize your workflows. Is it a good idea to keep doing retail arbitrage while learning wholesale? Do you still do retail? I think it's an absolutely good idea. You can't cut off your stream of income currently. Let's say you're doing 20K a month with retail arbitrage or online arbitrage. If you immediately stop that and switch to wholesale, your sales are going to go to a halt, right? Because you haven't built any relationships. You're just getting into the game. You placed a few small orders. So you got to make a smooth transition. For us, that transition took about 18 months to go from a full retail arbitrage business back in like 2015, 16 to a 100% wholesale business. Right. And now, yeah, we still do a little bit of retail arbitrage, but we take our retail arbitrage relationships to the next level. We're not even going in the stores anymore. We're getting truckloads shipped to us from these retail stores or going to go pick it up. But absolutely, you can't just stop doing RA or OA because you want to get into wholesale. It's going to take a transition time. What's up, Gary from Texas? It's great because Walmart's not as tight as Amazon. It's the Wild West. No discounts on EsellersRI. There'll never be a discount on EsellersRI. And actually, in a couple months, it's going up about $2,000. We're the most legitimate group in the Amazon space, Amazon wholesale space, right? And 90% of the other programs out there are just people who joined ours and created their own, which shit, I encourage them. They're helping other people then one day join EsellersRI, but I'll never discount my program. I don't want the customer who wants a discount inside my program. Typically when you pay attention. And when you cheap in, you cheap out. So I don't want the guy who wants $1,000 discount in my program because they're going to be the most complicated customer to deal with. I want the person who says, Eric, 3K, fucking no problem. Here's the money. That's the type of person I want in my community. Because $3,000 at the end of the day, it's not, in the grand scheme of life, $3,000 is such a small portion of money. It really is. And with access to credit, we offer a 4-month payment plan. There's really no excuse. There's absolutely no excuse. Yeah, Inner Circle will probably be going up as well, Carson. End of year. I mean, it has to. We're getting more and more customers, more and more clients that we're helping in Inner Circle. Their businesses are growing ridiculous. It's like, for example, the one company we started working with about 9 months ago, when they joined, they were spending about 500,000 a month. Now they're spending 1.5 million a month. So they literally 3x their business in 9 months with Inner Circle. Like, when you start talking price points with that, it's a no-brainer. I prefer distributors over auction bidders. I don't like doing any auctions. Yeah, I've heard of Imperial Distributors. I've never done business with them. No, we don't no longer have we have a wholesale company, but we just don't sell to Amazon sellers. Have you guys seen a race to the bottom recently with pricing? It all depends on the product. I mean, some products will race to the bottom, especially if you're doing OARA. Typically, those will race to the bottom. But it's not like a common theme I'm seeing in my business. I like to think about it like 90-10. We've ran the numbers in our business. About 10% of our inventory year over year sells at a break even or a loss, right? So 10% of our sales, we're just getting cost of goods back or losing a little on the cost of goods, 10, 15, 20%, and getting that cash back. The other 90% of the inventory we sell historically year over year over year over year, 90% of our inventory is profitable, you know? So anywhere from a penny in profit all the way up to hundreds of dollars per profit per sale. You know, and something important to point out is, for example, the very funny dude over here on YouTube just said, have you seen a race to the bottom recently with pricing? Something I like to do is expand the window you're looking at that product, right? Because if you just, let's say all of a sudden prices tanked, you have 100 units in stock. If you just look at it currently today, you'll say, shit, I'm losing $4 on this product. I got 100 units in stock. If I sell all through all this inventory, I'm going to lose $400, right? But if you expand the life cycle of that listing, let's say you've been selling it since January, right? And from January to the end of July, you made 10 grand, right? So now selling the remaining products at a $400 loss still means a $9,600 profit in the life cycle of that ASIN. That's a great ASIN to me, right? So typically before I drop pricings, I like to expand and look at the full picture of the Amazon listing, right? How profitable has it been for me? Have I sold this previously in the past 12 months? If I liquidate at a lower price and lose some money on the cost of goods, will I still be profitable year to date or the past 12 months or this quarter, right? So pop it open, analyze that data. EsellersRI, the one and only. I mean, we're not going to give them to you, but I'll teach you how to find them. Business Growth Hacks Live, Amori. It's in Las Vegas. Mike, what's up, brother? I don't know what that is. Beer. Yeah, see you this week, Mike. That Inner Circle in here heavy today. Thanks, Jay. Always fucking over delivering, man. Getting around 3-ish on Wednesday. Monday calls are the best thing about this. So happy to be a part of EsellersRI. Thank you, Eric. Thanks, Arletti. It's a pleasure having you in the community as well. I just don't get how stupid people are taking the price, especially on products that sell 2 or 3K units per month. Well, here's the thing, right? And people always wonder, like, how are these sellers selling it at this price and how are they profitable? A lot of times they're not, right? There's times I was just talking about that 10% inventory that we sell for a loss or a break even. There's times, even as a business owner, I drop pricing, right? Maybe I have too much inventory and the BSR is slowly going up. Or maybe the BSR is going up and the price is going down and I want to liquidate. Typically, I'll make an educated decision to get rid of that inventory. And some people may see me on that list and be like, how is Eric making money on these products? And it's like, I'm not. Nah, and that's okay sometimes. Sometimes you got to liquidate the shit to bring in the good. And also see how many units they have. Very funny, dude. Because if they only have a couple days or a couple weeks worth of inventory, just let them sell through. Oh, this is going to be a good one. Mike said our profit margins are up 3 to 4% since implementing some inner circle strategies. The Amazon Lit Boys do not play around. We do not play around. Why do some sellers put limits on their offers? It's to prevent someone from placing a large order from you and tying up your inventory. So let's say you have 300 units in stock and you put an order limit of 12, right? This way, not one customer can go buy, which happens sometimes, not often, but one customer might purchase or add to cart 300 of your items and then make them unavailable for any other people to purchase. And until they cancel that order, they're going to just be sitting there in limbo. So order limits help prevent that. Also, for anybody just joining, if you want to come back and rewatch this call, it'll be on YouTube, uploaded in, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes or so. But at the beginning of this call, just discussing the pinned link here at the bottom of this chat. That's essentially to get 5 emails that convert emailed to you in the next couple of minutes to open wholesale accounts. Because at the beginning of this call, we covered best practices that you should be following immediately after a trade show, right? So like who you should be talking to, when you should be emailing them, how quickly you should be turning around on your orders, right? What type of discounts you should be requesting, because 80% of the work happens after the trade show. Yeah, get rid of it faster than later. Yeah. And then other people like Wealth in the Making don't want people to know how much inventory they have. And that's another reason as well. Let's say you got 2,000 units in stock, right? And the listing only sells 500 units a month. If someone sees you have 200 units in stock, they're probably going to start dropping the price because they're like, damn, this guy's going to control the price on this listing. I got to get out of this before he starts dropping his price and moving out his inventory. So putting an order limit helps with that. Hey Eric, it's George. I was curious to know what the difference is between M Club, the inner circle tier I'm in, and the higher level one. So the higher level one, you get more in-person visits. I think it's an extra day of in-person visits. You also get more one-on-one time with me and Sebastian. You also get more attendees to any of the events we host. So BGHL, Inner Circle dinner happening this week. You also get more invites to those events, and you also get more account health appeals, which is essentially assurance against your company. Like George, for example, I know we helped you pretty thoroughly with that brand registry thing, right? Like if you were to reach out with another brand registry thing, you would probably be a little hesitant to assist, only because that process took what, 2-3 months of communication. But high society, it's like a no-brainer, and you could always level up to the next tier, right? Because you're new, you would just pay the remaining balance, the difference between the two, and you would renew for the next 12 months. Because most people, Inner Circle has a very high retention rate. About 70% of the businesses that join Inner Circle again. Yeah, so the main difference between EsellersRI, oh wow, Instagram is I got a time limit on my lives now. I got 22 seconds remaining. All right, so I'm going to finish this up over on YouTube. So pop over to YouTube. I'm going to finish this up. Let's see. Diff between ERI and IC. Oh, that's it. All right, we're going to take care of that in a little bit. We're going to pop over here to just YouTube and finish this up. So someone, AWG is still active, but we're no longer opening wholesale accounts with Amazon sellers. Some distributors have 6 to 8 weeks lead time and want 20% down. Yeah, run the numbers, man. Especially if it's a product that you've been selling consistently for a while, you definitely want to just run the numbers and see if it makes sense for your business. If you have the historical data and you've been selling it 6, 9, 12 months, and you've been consistently profitable, no really crazy changes in the Keepa chart, no crazy changes in the competition. And then if you're being real consistent with it and you have that data, then make that commitment. Put the 20% down and take the 6 to 8 week lead time. But if it's a new product, typically I will not be placing 6 to 8 week lead time order. All right. Also, if your question wasn't answered and you're just coming over from Instagram over to YouTube, just put it in the chat. I'll get to it in a couple minutes here. We're going to be hanging out for a little bit. But someone asked before what the biggest difference between EsellersRI and Inner Circle is. So first of all, the only way to get into Inner Circle is to be a member of EsellersRI, right? So the requirement is to be an Inner Circle or you're a member of EsellersRI and you do at least 7 figures a year in Amazon sales, right? Because Inner Circle is for the elite. It's for the top of the food chain. It's for the people who are crushing it, right? And continuing to want to grow their business. So we have sellers who are doing $1 million a year, and then we have sellers who are doing 30, 40, 50 million a year inside Inner Circle, along with everybody in between. So you're now able to interact with them, network with them, get access to them, monthly Inner Circle calls. It's a game changer. EsellersRI is for everybody else. Right? Whether you're a brand new seller, you're doing 20K a month, 50K, 100K, 500K a month, EsellersRI teaches you the fundamentals of Amazon wholesale to begin to execute and implement into your business so you can begin to thrive to reach Inner Circle levels. Hey, Eric, last week I secured my best distributor supplier, got a brand list, and about 80% of the products are profitable on that single list. Super stoked. That's amazing, Real Food Fuji. That's the name of the game there, right? And I'm sure you put in some work for that. Let me know how long it took for you to secure that account, how long you've been selling on Amazon and reaching out to suppliers, because that's really going to put things into perspective for me. I would imagine it's at least a couple months. No, absolutely, Nick. We do not get letters of authorization from every brand to sell their products. First sale doctrine. It's not required. Only for certain brands it will be. That's why I always encourage create a test listing before sending any Amazon or purchasing any inventory to send to Amazon. But no, a letter of an LOA is definitely not required. If it was, we would have a much, much, much smaller business. So that's just not how it operates. But sometimes Amazon may request an LOA, on the odd chance that they have had some complaints or they need to verify supply chain or whatever the case may be. They may request an LOA. In that case, you'd have to reach out to the brand to get it because typically a distributor LOA will not work. It needs to be directly from the brand. All right, so quick little recap here. For anybody who recently left ASD or you're going to your first trade show or you've never been to a trade show, I encourage you, pop into Google your local convention center, right? Check it out. Check out your local convention center. I guarantee they have some events coming up in different categories: health, beauty, baby, grocery, sports, outdoors, industrial and scientific, tools, auto parts. Like there's definitely a trade show right in your neck of the woods that you can attend and get some experience. You don't have to invest in airfare, hotels. You can literally drive to it. That's why I encourage you looking at local ones at your local convention center, right? So now let's say you do go to a trade show or you just left ASD. There's really 4 steps that I want you to pay attention to here. This is just a recap to what we covered in the beginning of the call. Step number 1 is your follow through. Email these vendors, connect with them, get catalogs. Number 2 is when you get that catalog, Capitalize on placing an order quickly. I mean, 24 to 48 hour turnaround. If you're waiting any longer than that, other people in this live right now, or other people who are customers of that supplier, are buying the inventory before you can get access to it. So by the time you wait 5, 6, 7, 8 business days to submit your order, prices have changed, items have gone out of stock, new items have replaced those out of stock items, and you just wasted multiple days and hours putting together an order that you're going to get a 40% fill rate on. So capitalize on placing those orders quickly. Number 3 is the price in the catalog is not the price that you're going to be paying. Typically never is. You got to understand the different types of discounts to request. Volume discounts, take all discounts, line drives, monthly promotional sheets, weekly promotional sheets, the relationship discount, right? There's so many different discounts you can be requesting. And then number 4 is integrate some sort of CRM into your business, whether it's Trello, Asana, Monday, HubSpot. Even though HubSpot, I don't know if they have, I know our HubSpot package is dumb expensive. It's like 25 grand a year. So maybe not HubSpot, but definitely Asana, Trello, Monday.com, a couple $100, if not less a month. You'll be able to set up a CRM with one of those. And someone else shared, which I haven't looked into yet, but supplier flow, which I'll investigate on my own and come back if that's worth looking into on your own. But integrate a CRM, right? Start tracking open rates, click-through rates. Start tracking subject lines, seeing which ones convert better. You know, seeing which email bodies convert, which ones are suppliers responding to. You know, play around with it. Yeah, yesterday's price is not today's price, Shamari. What's the trade show in Philly every year called? It's called Expo East. And oh shit, you reminded me actually. I gotta update my calendar. I gotta put together that link for the trade show. Expo East. I gotta do that today. Hold on, I'm just setting a calendar reminder. Expo East. So, and for anybody, Calendly, for anybody on Expo East in Philly, I think it's I want to say it's the 21st to the 23rd. For anybody going to Expo East, we will have a trade show walkthrough, essentially a guided tour on how to navigate the trade show and get the best out of your experience. Because, first of all, Expo East is completely different than ASD. It's a completely different ball game, right? ASD, you have suppliers that are typically Amazon friendly. You know, they know what they're getting into, but Expo East is typically small to medium-sized brands. So it has to be navigated completely different. It cannot be navigated the same as ASD could be. It just can't. You got to go in there with a whole different approach. And we basically educate you on that in the trade show walkthrough, which for the couple $100, it's well worth it, especially if you've never been. I originally found out their supplier about a year ago. I basically messaged them every few months, changing it up every time until they finally responded. This method has secured me 3 to 4 good suppliers. See, Real Foods, you just nailed it on the head, man. It's all about the follow through. Here he is connecting with a supplier for over a year and finally just secured the account. Congratulations, my friend. That's the type of action that needs to be taken in order to be successful in this industry, or really any industry. Your follow through. Your follow through game is weak, your profits are going to be weak. I live in Canada, but I want to do wholesale in the US. Would it make sense to use a US prep center? Yeah, absolutely. It makes sense to use a US prep center. 100%. And I would suggest, well, I don't think you're any EsellersRI, but typically I always suggest just asking a group of sellers, you know, what's a good prep center based on the state you're looking for. This way you get a response from someone who's typically worked with that vendor before, or that prep center before, and could provide you with real life insights on you know, what their turnaround time was, how their pricing was, how their communication was, if there were any issues or any additional charges that were unexpected that they added to your invoice, like all that information. Because prep centers, there's a lot of them, right? And not all of them are the same. You know, some of them have a very quick turnaround but are expensive. Others are cheaper but have a very slow turnaround. Others have additional service fees that they charge you when the inventory arrives. So, yes, I encourage you to use a prep center. All right, my friends, this has been fun. We're going over an hour here, just hanging out, another Sunday sessions. This is episode 49. It's been a couple weeks since I've done a Sunday session. Typically, I like to do them every week, but life gets busy. You know, I was in Colombia a couple weeks ago, Chicago 2 weeks ago, Las Vegas last week. I'll be in Utah in a couple weeks and then back to Florida. So, like, traveling happens, it's part of business, you know, but I try to jump on here as often as possible on Sundays and just kick it with y'all, right? Interact, provide as much value as possible. And just with the hopes, right? The reason why I do this is the hope that you will consume a piece of information that can potentially change your life, right? Because I'm sure all of you have heard, like, when the student is ready, the teacher will come. I'm sure a lot of this stuff you've heard multiple times over and over and over again. But if you're anything like me, which I imagine a lot of you are, sometimes it just takes the right moment, the right time to hear that thing that people have been telling you for years and years and years. Sometimes it just takes that magical moment for it to sink in and really hit you at a level in which you begin to enact on it. Right. So I just hope that that has happened for at least one of you. If that has happened for one of you on this call, which I know it has, for me, it's all worth it. You know, because my goal is to educate and help y'all scale out your businesses. That's the number one priority for me. I'm excited to hang out with some of y'all in person in the next couple of days over at AMZ United. Like I said, I'll be there all day. If you see me, please, if you see me or Sebastian, we want to meet you. I want to talk to you. Want to get to know you a little better. Come hang out. Yeah, Arash, send me a message. We'll get you set up for EsellersRI. Come hang out. Say what's up. Also, I'll be at the dinner the night before, and for all my inner circle members, we have a private dinner immediately after AMZ United. We'll be sending out an email in the next day or two with the location. It's like 5 minutes from the convention center, so a short Uber ride. You know, I'll have some space in my car. Sebastian will have some space in his, so maybe we could do some carpooling, and everybody else can hop in an Uber and head over there. Yeah, I'm going to. So naughty. I just posted a link. Oh man, why'd they do that? Why did they do that? They're not gonna let me do it. I'm gonna post the other one. All right, naughty. I just posted the link in the chat there, so check it out, man. We love to have you on the team. Trying to think if there's anything else I'm missing here. I don't think so. He was a very informative call. I mean, even when I talk about this stuff out loud, it just reinstills it into my work process and my daily habits and routines. I don't have any off the top of my head cool lies, but we got a list of every single one of them inside the community. And like I said, I always encourage you to ask. I don't. Maybe someone else has a recommendation. There's about 30 people in here, so maybe someone else has a recommendation. But off the top of my head, I don't have any cool lies. That's a great question, Naughty. Sure, you've covered this. How can I ensure that the invoices of the suppliers I met at ASD will work with Amazon? You can ask them. All right. So you put together the order, and then before you place it, hey, by the way, before I place this order, I just want to ensure that your invoices work. right, for any ungating or approvals for Amazon, and they'll tell you either yes or no, right? And then based on that information, you make an educated decision on how you want to move forward. No, most of them will work. I know some of the vendors I work with at ASD, all their invoices work for approval and gating. All right. All right, listen, my friends, I'm out of here. I'll see some of you in a couple days at AMZ United. Have a great rest of your weekend. Enjoy your Sunday. Stay grateful and stay lit. Catch you on the flip side.